and welcome to episode 43 of the Caught in the Wool podcast. I am your host, SamBee, and I am at Bumblebee Acres farm, which is where I, myself, and my family raise sheep, goats, and bunnies for wool, and we also hand dye and process yarns as well. So it has been a while. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. And for those of you who are new, I hope you enjoy the podcast and you stick around. So it has been a while. It has been a while since I podcasted. Partially because I was not able to knit for a while. I was having some joint pain, and I mentioned it in the last few episodes. So I kind of lost my motivation to podcast for a while there, but luckily my pain seems to have subsided substantially, and I am able to knit a little bit again. And yeah, so I figured I would pop in and talk to you guys a little bit. I actually filmed this video a little bit differently. You guys would have seen the beautiful flower intro and spring on the farm by now, but I am going to film and show you guys up close and personal the yarn update. I am going to show you everybody's projects up close and personal and all of that fun stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it was kind of easier, I think, to film things in segments and show you guys instead of sitting down and do everything at once. And anyway, hopefully you guys like it. And yeah. So now, since I don't have projects with me right here, and I'm going to show you guys those later, and the yarn updates, I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about our Maryland sheep and wool update that is happening. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, what we've been up to on the farm other than preparing for the update, and some other stuff. So, since I saw you guys last, and yeah, it's a little breezy, we have, let me stabilize my tripod a little bit. Since I saw you guys last, spring has come, spring is here. It is a beautiful, balmy 83-degree day or something today, which is actually different than what it had been, like this past week. We had a beautiful like 70 degree week, and then all of a sudden we had like the 40s, and then whoop, today it's 80 degrees. So I have been taking photos for the Maryland sheep and wool update and doing all of that stuff, and I figured it's a perfect time to film a little video of them as well. The farm has been transitioning into springtime, which means English Angora bunnies and our satin Angora bunnies have all been shorn. We shear them 3 to 4 times a year, and that has all been done. we filmed and uploaded a little bit for a vlog on our Patreon. So if you are a patron, you would have seen that in the last vlog. And after Maryland sheep and wool, we are going to shear the Pygora goats and then start getting ready to shear the flock. For those of you who are new, we do shear all of our sheep and goats ourselves, and that is a little bit of a process because we actually use hand shears to do all of it, and not even official hand shears. We use fabric cutting scissors, and that's how we learned to shear our Angora bunnies. And so when we got sheep, and can you guys hear those beautiful birds in the background? I figured it was beautiful to film out here today, and I mean the weather is perfect for it. It's nice and cloudy, but still very, very warm, and the breeze hasn't been too bad. Hopefully, fingers crossed it stays like that. But aren't the birds beautiful? They've been waking me up in the morning, which is very different than winter time. You don't realize how quiet winter is. It really is very quiet. I was contemplating that this morning when the birds woke me up, and I was like, you know, that's new. That's a little different. So it has been lovely. I'm sitting surrounded by dandelions, and there are also wild violets that grow up in our lawn. So it is like absolutely beautiful. It's just, the hostas are popping open. It's just a lovely day. So what was I saying? Yes, we've been transitioning into spring. All of us bees are vaccinated, and as of this past Monday, we are at maximum immunity for the COVID virus. So that is great. For, again, those of you who are returning, you'll know that we have been super, super careful about going out. We haven't really left the house at all for the past 13, almost 14 months, because I am a type 1 diabetic, and QueenBee is also immunocompromised, and so is SenBee. So yeah. And the bee people, a lot of new viewers ask me who the bee people are. We do have an about section on our website that you can find the link below, and it tells you all about our farm and our family. But the bee people are myself, SamBee, and my family, who we all live and work here at Bumblebee Acres Farm. That is QueenBee, my mom, SenBee, who is my 24-year-old sister, BabyBee, who is my nearly 21-year-old sister. She'll be 21 in August. And BroBee, who is my 18-year-old brother. And we all do this farming, homesteading, yarn-y life together. So what else has been new? We have been gearing up to purchase a tractor. We have been holding off for the past 2 years. When we purchased this farm, we knew that we would have to buy a tractor or something similar pretty soon after we moved here. Something so we can spread manure, and we can cut our pastures if we need to, and just all kinds of farm stuff, moving bales of hay, all kinds of stuff. So we have been gearing up to purchase a tractor. We were hoping to do it this past month, but with Maryland sheep and wool, it's been a little too busy. So we will be doing that after Maryland sheep and wool. May is going to be a busy month. We will be having to shear. Some of us are going out and exploring now that we can for the first time in like 14 months. Of course, we will be masked and we will be as careful as possible, but we will be trying to live our lives and going towards a more normal life going forward. It's so exciting. Speaking of normalcy, we just got news last night that New York Sheep and Wool, aka Rhinebeck 2021, will be in person. So as of right now, they're planning on a hybrid event. So for vendors who don't feel comfortable being in person, they will be having an online vending thing like they did last year. But for everyone who's willing to be there in person, they're having it in person. So I sent the email and said, yep, we are in. And last night we booked our Airbnb. So if you are planning on attending Rhinebeck 2021, the Bumblebees will be there. And I am so excited. We all kind of anticipated that. That is why we will not be doing advents for 2021, because we figured the transition from not having shows and doing all online business to then trying to manage the online business and the growth we've experienced, which is great. We've experienced such wonderful support this past year with our online shop. So the transition for moving back into shows might be a little bit stressful for us. So we decided we would take a break from advents for 2021 and we will resume them again in 2022. But yes, we also got the news today that Wisconsin Sheep and Wool, which is one of our other big, wonderful shows that we look forward to every single year, will be going forward with a live event again this year. So excited about that. So that show is the second weekend in September, I believe it is, every year. Yeah, and we have been trying so hard for a double booth at that event. For years we have been trying to get a double booth, and a month or so ago I was informed that they had a double booth for us, and they told me that they weren't sure at that point if we would be able to have the live event, but they said, once we are live, you can have the double booth if you still want it, and I said, yep. So that is great. We're just excited. We were very much hoping that this would be the case for 2021, that things would start becoming more normal in the fall, and hopefully it continues along that path. But yeah, so other than that, I'm going to show you guys some projects coming up. All of the bees have been working on different projects. I've not been working on quite as many projects, but you know, I'm just easing myself into it. I don't want to like overwork my hands because my joint pain was in my hands, which is why I wasn't crafting. And I don't want to overdo it. So we're gonna slowly transition back. A lot of things in life right now is a slow transition back to normal. So with my health, it seems to be the same. But yeah, I'm just in such a cheerful mood today. It's just such a beautiful day. Taking photos of all the beautiful yarn. I'm going to show you guys the project bags that we are going to have in the shop for the Maryland Sheep and Wool update. The Outlander collection. Not in its entirety because there are some things that have not been dyed yet. QueenBee has had tendinitis in her ankle. Actually, both of her backs of her ankles, her Achilles tendon. She had it primarily in her right ankle, and she has not been able to dye at the volume that she is typically able to. She's been resting a lot, so we were hoping to have everything dyed and dried by this Wednesday, I believe it was, but it looks like we're going to be working up until Friday. Luckily, all of the colors that have not been dyed yet are just restocks, so I don't have any Lord of the Rings to show you because we're just doing restocks of those guys, and yeah, but I'm going to show you a little teaser of everything. I am sending out a newsletter for Thursday and Friday. I believe I'm going to send 2 newsletters this week, just in case people don't see the first one. Letting you know that the Maryland Sheep and Wool update is happening, and there is this weird little bug just buzzing around like crazy. Just one going crazy, and it's just likes the camera. I don't know. At least it likes the camera and not me. But what was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Anyway, it was something about the shop update. You know how it goes. Yeah, so everything that is not fully dyed yet will just be a restock. I'm gonna send out the newsletter, that's what I was talking to you guys about, and show you guys a little bit of a preview of colors through that. And also, I'm going to be making a Patreon post. And for those of you who are new, our supporters on Patreon, from the lowest tier to the highest tier. The lowest tier is a $3 pledge a month. Get to shop all of our shop updates an hour early. Our Maryland Sheep and Wool update will be all ready to ship except for this colorway here. And then of course all tonals that are in the shop right now those are all dyed to order. But this beauty is our Maryland Sheep and Wool colorway for 2021, and this is called Friendship Grows Like a Flower. So there's kind of a fun story behind this one. Friendship Grows Like a Flower is actually a song from early 2000s Strawberry Shortcake movies. We were obsessed with those as kids. Especially BabyBee and BroBee. They loved them, but SenBee and I love them too. We were just a little on the older edge, but it caught us in our youth as well, and we were obsessed with strawberry shortcake. But for those of you who are familiar with Maryland Sheep and Wool, it is held in Friendship, Maryland. So we just thought that that was a perfect name for this flowery beauty. And there's a little gnat. Get out of here. Get out, get out, get out. Silly. We figured that was a beautiful name for this colorway. And it's just a happy, bright, pretty color. So yes, there will also be some Regency colors, so Jane Austen and Bridgerton colors. Everything will be ready to ship, so that way everything but this one that's a pre-order will be able to go out right away. So if you purchase anything with a tonal, any of the ready to ship with a tonal in your order or this pre-order, it will all ship at once it's ready. But yeah, that way everybody can get that instant gratification for their Maryland Sheep and Wool shopping. But yeah, I have been working on reformatting all of our patterns so that way they are in a new format. A lot of them were published when SenBee and I were very new designers, so there are some things that I am planning on adding to make them a little clearer, a little more polished, and I am hoping to have them up in our online shop as well as Ravelry. Previously, our online shop did not have a, what am I trying to say, like a digital download system that I liked. They had it so you would get a 24-hour active link in an email to access the file, and I wasn't really comfortable with that because I didn't want people to lose it and then have to deal with, you know, people losing their files and having to try to resend them, and I didn't know how that system would work. But they recently updated it so you can access through that link forever. So I am planning on doing that. I don't know when it will be done. Certainly not by Maryland Sheep and Wool, but hopefully by midsummer. And then I have a new pattern coming up that I will show you guys in a future clip. And yeah, other than that, that's a lot of chatting. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about planning and other fun stuff. And I hope you guys have a very, very wonderful spring. I hope that you are enjoying the warm weather, that the flowers are blooming and the birds are chirping. A beautiful robin just decided to join me. And enjoying these sunny evenings because it is nearly 6 o'clock and it is still nice and warm and sunny here. So I am going to get going. I have to upload all of these yarns into the shop and work on restocking and all of that stuff. But I had a lovely time chatting with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast. Bye! So I wanted to show you some of the projects the bees have been working on. So I have a collection of non-socks here, but I will be showing you some socks in a minute as well. So here I have a gathering shawl adaptation. So QueenBee is knitting this guy, and this is our squishy sock. This bright green is our Azazel colorway. And then she used a bunch of minis from our Halloween trick-or-treat mini set in 2020. So she is just kind of following loosely the Gathering Shawl pattern, and then striping in minis as she feels, as well as these stripes of the Azazel. And it's turning out really fun. As you can see, it is a very Halloween-y feel to it. Halloween. Well, it has a Halloween feel to it, but it's really pretty. I believe she went down a couple needle sizes to do this because she had so much yarn in the minis and she wanted to use up every last bit of each mini. So she's literally knitting until her mini runs out. But it is super pretty. And if you hear clacking in the background, that is Peach wandering around. I can't have her in the room with me, and she's upset about that because I have bunny rabbits in this room with me. But yeah, she is almost done with it. She is just starting her last mini. She hasn't started working that one in yet, but then she will be working on the lace section, and yeah. And it's a really loose adaptation. I think that she is just, of the pattern, I mean, she's just striping in the garter sections however and whenever she wants, which is really fun feature of that pattern, because it really doesn't matter if you follow it exactly. It's just kind of a loose guide to how to knit a triangle top-down shawl with stockinette and garter stitch, and then how to add like a lace border at the end. So yeah. So into some more spring colors. I have been knitting a very small amount. I know I mentioned in the last few podcasts that I was having some like joint and nerve pain, and I'm still not sure what was up with that, but I think that changing my thyroid medication dose definitely helped. So I've been feeling a bit better, and I've been able to work on my Hygge and Hearth scarf, which is an infinity scarf. And this was our pattern for our 2020 Advent knit along, mystery knit along. But yeah, so BabyBee did the same Advent set as I did. So hers is finished, and I've shown it before, but I just started on the 12th mini today, so I'm almost halfway done with this. And I haven't really cast it on anything. I've been wanting to cast things on, but also my knitting mojo is just off. I have a lot of whips that I have been working on that stopped because of my joint pain, so I'm kind of like just working on whips now, and some of them I've kind of lost my motivation on, but this one I'm loving, and switching up the color every like 14 rows is really helping, so I'm very excited about that. And this one is knit out of our Buttersock, and it is our Jane Austen advent calendar that we did last Christmas. But yeah, you can see Buttersock has cashmere and silk in it, so it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. And then there are all of these beanies. So the pattern on this is called the beanie, and I know I showed part of it last time. I think I did. So here I have QueenBee's that she knit and finished. SenBee knit and finished this one, and BabyBee is working on this one, but it's almost ready to be finished. So it has to have the border, well, the band sewn in and, you know, closed off. But otherwise it is pretty much done. And these are super cute. The pattern is the Beanie by ZZ Knits. I will link it below. But yeah, the yarn that we used is a merino single, 100% superwash merino single by sorry, the clacking of Little Peach's nails is just, go lay down. Anyways, we used a single for each of these by Stranded Dyeworks. And we paired it with a strand of our Spun Sugar yarn base in varying colors. So this one, I think SenBee used a darker one. And she also adapted her hat to be a 1x1 rib, the whole thing. The pattern, I believe originally, I haven't knit this pattern, but I believe originally it is just stockinette. But BabyBee and QueenBee are doing that. I really like this 1x1 rib. I have the yarn to do this, and I've been wanting to cast it on, but I feel like I can't do a 1x1 rib right now, so for full hat, oof. But I really like how this one looks and how it looks on SenBee, so I might have to do that. But I don't remember the exact colors. I think this one is, oh, I don't remember the colors by, I think this is Crayon by Stranded Dyeworks. And one of, oh, I wouldn't remember. I don't remember, but a lot of them are one of a kinds. And the Spun Sugar that we paired it with, this one is Through the Stones from our Outlander collection, and this one is Polyjuice Potion, and I believe this one here is just Edelweiss, our undyed white color. But yeah, so next I'm going to show you guys everybody's socks that people are working on, and I do have a couple project bags here. So this is a Hannah Lou Designs medium zipper bag, and that's what I'm keeping mine in. This print is out of stock, so these were just test bags that she wanted to test this design with, but there were only 3 of them, and SenBee and I each have one, and Hannah has one, so we won't be having that exact print, but hopefully in the future we might have something similar. And this is another Hannah Lou Designs bag with the plaid flannel fabric. And I told you there were a lot of socks, so none of these socks are my whips, but I'm going to go and show you guys what the other bees have been working on. So some of these I have shown before. I know I've shown you guys these, and I think I've shown these ones before, but this one is a new one. So this is our Mermaids of the Black Lake, and it was our, I believe, March Hogwarts Order of Magical Makers Club. And SenBee held back one of these to do a pair of String of Lights socks. The Progress Keeper was a BabyBee's Nifty Notions, and she is doing these on a US 1, I believe. But this colorway will be in the shop for Maryland Sheep and Wool. It'll be the first time it'll be released. It is super pretty. It has these little pops of brownie, like a coppery gold almost. Super, super pretty. And the String of Lights pattern is by Sock Witchery. And it is one of SenBee's favorite sock patterns to knit. And the heel, cuff and toe is this beautiful color, and I am not sure off the top of my head which color this is. It might have been one from our Little Women collection, so I will put it below if it is a regular colorway, but if it is not, then it's just a Little Women heel and toe that was left over. And over here, we have Mallorn seeds, and BabyBee is working on these. These are the Crunkled Socks by KF Jones. And I have shown you this pattern before. All the bees kind of became obsessed with it and wanted to knit a pair. Or wait, nope, this isn't. I'm sorry. That is the Crunkled Socks pattern. This, I'm sorry, the texture threw me off. This is the Second Breakfast Socks by Sock Witchery. So another Sock Witchery pattern. I am so sorry. Pfft, silly. And BabyBee is knitting this out of our Mallorn Seeds colorway, which will also be in the shop for Maryland Sheep and Wool, I believe. We don't have all of the yarn completely dyed yet, so not sure yet if they will be throwing this one in, but I'm pretty sure they will, because it is just a beautiful, summery perfectly summery color. But then I have the crunkled sock pattern. So this is our, and I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to show you guys these ones first. This is our purple rainbow peeps color. QueenBee is knitting these in our Coquette sock yarn base on a US 1. It is super, super cute. Let me get in really close to show you guys that. And she is using a bright green, I believe this is Sprout, for her cuff and heel. And she just left the toes to rainbow, which is super cute. And then SenBee is knitting the pattern again. She had knit it the first time, but she is knitting it again out of our Mr. Wickham Pride and Prejudice inspired colorway. It's very soft green and gray color, and it has these little pops of gold in it. And she's using Hagrid, Keeper of the Keys, as the heel and toe. She's knitting these for her boyfriend, and this adorable Progress Keeper is by Pitter Patter Polymer, which is super cute. Peeps, and they're sparkly. But yes, there are other socks on the needles right now, but these are all the ones that I decided to bring out because they are either new or have had like significant progress on them. Finally, I wanted to show you guys these crochet blankets. So this is a pattern I have been working on designing since pretty much March 2020. So it is a crochet blanket, and I use the same stitch as I do in my brioche patterns. So it looks, if I can get really close, looks almost like knitting. And what you do is you can take a Scrappy Ball, Magic Cake, what QueenBee and BabyBee, who are knitting these. So this is BabyBee's and this one is QueenBee's, which is over halfway finished. What they did is they caked up a bunch of magic cakes, and they have just been crocheting from the ball. But you can see QueenBee has started her decrease. So there is the other corner of her blanket. So I was inspired by that stitch that I use in my brioche patterns because it looks so much like knitting, and it behaves very flexibly, almost like knitting, to create a crochet blanket, because crochet is just a little bit sturdier a lot of times than knitting. So I really like the idea of crocheting blankets. QueenBee told me that she would like to crochet a blanket, and the idea just popped in my head, and I said, well, how would you like to test this? And she was all for it. So the problem is once she got halfway done and it was time for her to decrease, I just was not motivated to figure out the perfect way to decrease this where it would match this edge of the increase fairly well, be equally stretchy. So I kind of put it off until this past March, which QueenBee was not super happy about because she wanted to finish this blanket like last year. So I kind of messed her up with that, but she is just getting it done so nicely. So hers is done in our Coquette sock yarn, and BabyBee's is done in squishy sock, and they are beautiful. I'm super happy with the pattern. I am not sure what to name it. In crochet, corner to corner is a totally different stitch. So this blanket is crocheted from corner to corner, a lot like a corner to corner blanket in knitting is done. So it follows those same rules. I always kind of have that problem where I do these hybrid patterns between knitting and crochet, which I think are super cool. It kind of takes the best of each one, but I'm not sure what to name it because I can't call it a corner to corner blanket. because it's something different in crochet. But I am super happy with how it's turning out, and I'm hoping this pattern will be released the beginning of June. But yeah, because I know that it works. I know I could probably do it anytime. I just want to film a couple tutorials on how to do the stitches and the decreases, and yeah, but super excited about this, and I hope you guys are too. So I was taking a break from my morning knitting, and I was just about to take everything from my work planner here and put it into, let me move this guy, my Hobonichi weeks. So my typical way of how I have been doing things every day is I use my cousin A5 to track my day. So how I track my day is I use a color coding system in the weeks section, and I stick with it pretty well every day. I have what certain colors mean, and then I block out the time that I actually spent. So instead of planning, it's more like tracking. It helps me see where I'm spending most of my day and what's going on. So this was this week. This was a super bad day. I didn't get any work done. My blood sugar went absolutely crazy. I went low like 5 times that day. But yeah, so I keep my highlighters with me in the bag that I carry all my planners in, and I have more in here. And I keep all my highlighters in here, and I kind of fill it out throughout the day if I have like a spare moment, or I'll just do it at the end of the day. It helps me fill out my 5-year as well, so I can kind of see what happened every day and more concisely enter in that little tiny block I have in my 5-year, kind of working on my hand lettering, stuff like that. This was the day that I went low a bunch of times. But yeah, so that's kind of just what I've been doing in my A5 for my dailies. I got this new cover from a shop on Etsy. I will link it below, but it was super affordable. I want to say it was under $40. It's super nice quality. This is pleather in here, but the actual Hobonichi covers are all pleather, usually on the inside as well. And I got gifted these stickers from my good friend Melissa, who I knew in college and kind of just reconnected with over planning. I made a post about it on my personal Instagram, but yeah, so I've been using these a lot. How cute are those, like houseplants and bees? Perfect. It's so, she was so sweet to send those, and she sent this super cute postcard as well, and I put it in my day. And also these big stickers that I put in the front, and they're just like, it's super happy. So I was keeping, you guys might remember the cover that I had my weeks in before. I had to switch it up to something that was yellow because I needed these two to match. I know that sounds silly, but it just was like not jiving with me, so I really wanted them to match. I got this from Amnery Notebook on, oh my gosh, my driver's license, goodness, on Etsy, and this is leather, and I have been using my weeks every single day. I wanted to show you guys my week setup for this week. I am really loving this new layout. So what I do for my weeks is I block out appointments and big things that I have to do that are like time scheduled in the front. Then here I put like just my to-do list for work, and here like my to-do list for around the house. And my daily trackers, little reminders and lists, and what I have been watching. And I just kind of use washi tape for most of this. And yeah, see, I did the same thing for that week. Yeah, and it's just been working out really well. I've been using these pens, which are the Uni Pen. They're super affordable. I've been using the 0.2. for my weeks, and I've been using the 0.3 for my, you can't see that because it's got this little hand thing. What do you call those? But I've been really liking these. They highlight pretty well. I still write down, or after I highlight, so I'll highlight first and then write over the highlighting just to make sure I don't smear anything. But I've been really liking these because they are super dark, they're water resistant, all that fun stuff. And I did get these little things, I can't remember what they're called, off of Amazon. So when I am journaling long things in my A5, it's a little more comfortable, because before it was not as comfortable at all. But yeah, I really love this cover. BabyBee hooked on one of her butterfly notions. I had her do it on a closed loop and not a lobster clasp to match and kind of keep it super cute. Has this really nice zipper. It's a really nice cover. But I wanted to show you my layout for my golden coil. I haven't been doing layouts in my golden coil for the last few weeks. I've just been kind of doing very plain basic, because what I do is I use my golden coil to plan out the week for work, and then I it's kind of like a rough draft, and then I put my final draft here. I'll also go a little more detailed into my golden coil usually. The last few weeks haven't had any reason to be super, like, I haven't had to do anything super specific. They've been pretty bare bones, just work on Maryland sheep and wool prep. But this is Maryland sheep and wool week, so I have a ton of stuff to do. But I also kind of made it complement my week in my little everyday carry. So you can see they kind of match. They have the same washi tape colors and all of that fun stuff. And yeah, so that has been my system lately, and I have been keeping up with everything every day except for my food journal. Oh my goodness. So I'm supposed to do a food log every day for my diabetes. Not supposed to, like, my doctor hasn't told me I have to do it, but I have been. And it's stuck in here and I don't know if I can pull it out. I made it super cute too, but yeah, I can't get that out. But I carry it with me. It's this little notebook in here. I just haven't been doing it. I need to start doing it again. I've been doing it for my own, like, my own self, so that way I can see on days my blood sugar went crazy, like what foods have been affecting me, and stuff like that. But yeah, so that is my little planner talk.